Welcome to Culture Wire. I'm your host, Meg Schiffler. San Francisco's Old Mint is one of the most beautiful buildings in the city. For the month of July, the Old Mint is being illuminated by the Goode Performance Group's presentation of Traveling Light. Every weekend in July, audiences will be able to walk through specially staged scenes in the vaults, then move upstairs for a series of dances in the ballrooms and upper courtyard. Director of Cultural Affairs Luis Cancel met with Artistic Director Goode during the last rehearsals before opening night.
In 2011 will mark the 25th anniversary of the Goode Performance Group here in San Francisco. And this year, they were a recipient of a Cultural Equity Grants Program grant that allowed them to restage one of their most significant works. And Joe, what prompted you to restage this performance here at the Old Mint?
Well, I think when when we made a piece in this beautiful architectural gem about kind of about the economy and the fact that everyone is struggling, and what does it mean? What would it mean to travel into our future without our wealth, without our security blankets? I really wanted to stage it again so more people could see it. It sold out completely last year. Many people wanted to get in to see it. They couldn't. And so we thought, we'll bring it back. We were on tour and doing other things, and so finally we're here, and I'm delighted to give it life one more time.
So Traveling Light, which is the name of your installation, really gives audiences this amazing opportunity to experience like different mini performances throughout the Old Mint building. Is that correct?
So the two floors of the Mint are very different. The bottom floor is, the vaults where they kept the money, and it's kind of dark and dungeon-like with, cement walls and steel vaults. And then up here, it's like ballrooms and a kind of opulence and kind of shameful grandeur, really. And I just thought that was such an interesting contrast, and that money and the effect it has on people's lives really kind of goes in both of those dimensions. And so that we're telling like little mini stories in each of the different rooms. It's a real funhouse experience for them. They're discovering the architecture and the personality of this building at the same time that they're seeing these performances and hopefully some wonderful dancing.
Now, the title of the performance installation, Traveling Light, also alludes to kind of a collaboration that you had in creating this work,
yes.
right?
But most of the 25 years that I've been working in San Francisco, I've collaborated with Jack Carpenter, wonderful lighting designer. And I wanted to, set him loose and let him do what he does. He's very interested in architecture and the effect that it has on light and how you can construct light through architecture. And then we found this place, which is an amazing architectural mystery. And we can still do that, but it also has the resonance of, being the place where money was kind of made in the West. It has all of that history, and it's such a San Francisco icon, and very few people have ever been inside of it.
Unlike a conventional theater, which is where most of your dancers and performers usually, apply their craft, here you had to prepare them to use this unusual space. So what kind of special training or effort did that require from you?
We spend a lot of time on, softening the joints because their surfaces are very hard. And we have built some dance floors in certain rooms where there's very athletic dancing that's going to happen because we just couldn't do it on the marble floors or on the cement floors. But there are still many surfaces that are the natural, the way the architecture is, and they're very hard. So it's really about learning to move through the joints in a very soft way and know that you've got an hour and a half of being on that surface and kind of pacing yourself.
As the audience sort of moves from one part of the space to another and sees these different performances, there are kind of mini stories that are told. Yes. what role did you have in shaping those stories?
I had a pretty big role in that. I sat in these rooms and I imagined lives that had been affected by this institution. So to tell little stories from many different points of view, I thought was a more interesting way than just one single narrative. So each room, the way I fancy is the walls are talking to you. So a character is kind of emerging from that room and speaking the story of that particular chamber.
We've been talking to Joe Goode, the founding director and artistic director of the Joe Goode Performance Group here in San Francisco. So from July 7th to August 1st, you can have the opportunity to see Traveling Light here at the Old Mint. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Traveling Light will be presented through August 1st. For showtimes and tickets, visit joegoode.org. Thanks for watching Culture Wire.